is exceptional to me, exceptional value, and it is the best EVF I've ever used. And it's cheaper than my f55 OLED from Sony, which is okay, it's murky. It's not a great viewfinder, and it only works on the f5 and f55. It doesn't go on here. It looks like the same connector, it's not. So that's why I love the Gratical. It's not for everybody. Can you use the internal one, the one that comes with it? It's okay, but if you do, you might have problems with the plasticky loop, which I do, and I really don't like it. So what I did when I first got the camera is I put that away. It's the same horrendous loop that you had on the FS700 and FS100. Maybe they've changed optics inside, but it's still a horrible thing. It's too long as well. Trying to put it on your shoulder and feel relatively balanced. And that is obviously going to be front heavy because it's the way it's positioned, but it isn't a very heavy camera, and with a small enough lens, which is handheld you're going to have, it's actually totally fine. What I did is I replaced that bit of plastic with the Zacuto Z Finder for the Blackmagic. Had completely gone, and James Miller created a crosshead on there, and it was just awful. Because the Zacuto Gratical is heavier, much heavier than the bit of plastic that is the viewfinder, and so therefore it needs more tension on there. So, and on the other side, the actual microphone mount is fine for a crappy little microphone, but you put on a decent microphone like a Rode NTG3 or 2, or the NT4, which isn't the new one, which isn't as heavy, or the NT4 Plus, which is even better, which is about the same weight actually. They just really can't be taken on that mount, and they all start to go quite quickly. So I've replaced it with an old CAC-12 mount, which is very difficult to track down these days. These are much older style mounts, and I have fashioned my own microphone mount, and it seems to be okay. But I still have that whole issue with the rod. And so what I've ended up doing for the time being is I've taken that whole top handle and plate off and replaced it with the Vocus one, because it gives me a 15mm rod connection, which is nice and solid. Downside is I've lost the record button on the top. I've lost the ability to use a hot shoe microphone, which is the new Sony wireless pack, so you can put a microphone straight on the top. So it's got the rocker on there, but I don't have any servos on my lenses. So that's the downside to that. I'm hoping people can come up with a better solution, because I would like to have that extra record button, and I like the ability to put on a microphone directly into the camera, bypassing all of the other audio circuitry.
With the new firmware for the FS7, you can now use the hot shoe on top of the camera on the handle to also take the Sony XLR module, so you can now have 4 XLR inputs on the camera when you buy that module. It's the same hot shoe connection you'd use for the radio mic. Of course, if you, like me, have taken off your handle, you can't use either.
There are loads of accessories for the camera. There are top plates which actually go around the handle, which gives you cheese plates. This gives you 1/4, 20 and 3/8 mounting points, which are very useful, but they don't get past that whole viewfinder mounting issue. One of the best accessories that I've got for the camera is made by Shape over in French Canada, and it replaces part of the handle for the grip. Now, the problem with the handle for the grip is there's a couple of things. First off, the way that you have to extend it is via 2 little screws. You can use like a 2p coin or something, and you can release it, but it's a pain. If you want to extend it, you have to do it, undo it, and then tighten it up again. It just needs to be on a knob of some sort, and also adjusting it is just a bit clunky. And what they've done is they've replaced part of it. They've replaced the back bit of it closest to the camera, and so it's got a nice latch for rotating it, and you can extend it by pressing the red button, pulling it out and releasing it, and it's solid. It's way, way better. It's an accessory and it costs money. You don't have to have it. It does improve the camera, absolutely. Now, there are other rigs out there, and I've used them. There's Zacuto Recoil version 2 is really lovely. If you're using a VCT plate, it's very solid and gives you really lovely balance. But if you are going to use that, you need to make sure your viewfinder is quite far forward, because the camera sits further back, because it's all about balance. So if you don't have a Zacuto Gratical, you will really need to try and get that pocket camera viewfinder, Z Finder, because you need to get that viewfinder quite far forward for that. MoveCam, I've always thought they were called MovCam, but I met Lucy from MoveCam at BVE, and that's how she announced herself, so it's MoveCam. Who knew? And their one is very nice. It's much more of an exoskeleton type rig, but it gives you those mounting points and it is really quite nice, but it does make the camera heavier. I do prefer not to use rigs, but sometimes you have to. They're a necessary evil. The camera can be used without one, fine. The rigs can improve it. Little bits and pieces definitely do improve it. Having additional cheese plates and the shape handle. You don't have to have the others. They do make handheld operation better, but they make the camera bigger and heavier. One of the things I really like about it is the size. Let's talk about the extension unit. Now, it's not that expensive. It's like £1,200–1,300, and what this gives you is a raw out of the camera, and it gives some additional pro connections, and it changes the way it powers, so it's no longer from the BP small BP batteries. It's from a V-Log battery, a nice big V-Log battery. So therefore, it lasts quite a long time. It will also, at some point, when they bring out the firmware, allow you to record ProRes internally. Now, I really like the XAVC codec within the camera. It's a modern codec. I don't need ProRes. My edit system, Adobe Premiere CC version 8, works beautifully with it. If you're using Premiere, you'll need to make sure you have version 7.2 or up to cope with XAVC. A quick word about the two different versions of the camera of XAVC. It's XAVC-I or XAVC-L. I is essentially XAVC like my F55 does, and the L is a long GOP version which apparently is very good and with minimal loss. I don't know if it's lossless, but minimal loss compared to the XAVC iframe codec, the interframe codec, but none of my edits, Premiere doesn't cope with it right now, so there's no point shooting with it. It does mean you can put more on a card, but at the moment I can't use it, so it's a bit pointless. The key thing for this is if you want to shoot RAW. Now, you can't use the Sony recorder with it. You can, but this is what it looks like. This is the problem with the FS700 with the R5 recorder, made worse, because at least with the FS700, you ran the camera off of a Sony L series battery. You didn't have to have a V-lock on it, or an extension back, and a V-lock to then make it have RAW. It just automatically, it already had the connector on there. But with the FS7, the RAW has to be out of the back. There's a RAW out of the extension unit. So you have the V-lock battery on there, and then you have the IFR5 interface unit, and then you have the R5 recorder, and then you have another V-lock to power those two. And the whole thing becomes ridiculous. And I had a similar situation with the FS700, but it wasn't as bad as that. But I still didn't like it. It was still too long. When I shot with it, I ended up holding it on a strap, the actual R5 and the IRF5 and the battery, because I didn't want it. It was just too long and too big. It's way worse with the FS7. So it's not going to happen. It's not going to work at all. So the only option right now, and until the Atomos Shogun has the ability to record RAW from the camera, is the Odyssey 7Q Plus. Actually, the 7Q as well. 7Q Plus has the 4K HDMI, and I do recommend getting the 7Q Plus because there is no 4K SDI out of the FS7. So if you want to record in ProRes out of the camera, with or without the extension unit, in an external recorder, you will need to have it out of the HDMI because there's no 4K SDI out. But it's such a flexible recorder. It can cope with RAW and loads of other cameras, not just the Sony stuff. It's an amazing device. The problem is with the RAW, and it works nicely because it gives you a nice monitor, Cinema DNG uncompressed. It's so inefficient. It's hell to use in 4K. It's just too big file sizes. The Red has the best RAW format I've come across, the R3Ds. It gives you the ability to choose your compression ratio depending on what you're doing. It works well, works very well in editing systems like Premiere. Cinema DNG is too big and bloated. It's an old format. Even Blackmagic brought out a lossless version in their later cameras because they realized that the uncompressed version is just too big. This is all we still have on the Odyssey 7Q and 7Q Plus. It's too big. We're talking 24 minutes for around half a terabyte. Crazy. The Sony RAW recording isn't particularly efficient either, but it's way more efficient than Cinema DNG, but you don't have the ability to use it with the FS7 and extension unit unless you're willing to go with that convoluted mess. Now, if you're working in a studio, you could cope with it just fine. You run a long BNC and just have it recording separately. But for any sort of work away from that, it's just not workable. You do get 60 minutes of 4K on a half a terabyte R5 XSM cartridge, so it's better. It's twice as much as you can get in Cinema DNG on the Odyssey 7Q and 7Q Plus. So it's still a lot though, but that's why I don't really use RAW. I use RAW so infrequently because I just can't cope with that amount of data and I don't need it. If you expose well and you shoot well, you get everything right, you're fine. You light well, you're fine with the XAVC. And because the camera has the lovely log profiles, you have a very good dynamic range of 14 stops anyway. RAW is better, but until RAW can be as easy to work with as we are with single frames and as quickly as that is with single frames on stills cameras, then for me it's still a pain in the arse. So no, I will stick with XAVC. Thank you very much.
Up your buds for one smoking hot weekend. Crop King Seeds presents the 4th annual CannaFest 2017, August 10th through 12th at James Donaldson Park in Grand Forks. April Wines, Saga, Harlequin, Trooper, Platinum Blonde, Randy Bachman, Loverboy, and more. Plus vendors, beer gardens, and more. Camping on site. Tickets at cannafest.ca.
The thing is, who the fuck is Hillbilly Vegas?
Question?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Hillbilly Vegas?
Who the fuck's Hillbilly Vegas?
We're Hillbilly Vegas.
And you are watching DJ TV.
Don Jones from DJ TV here. Donnie here getting ready to do a piece about Hillbilly Vegas. If you don't know about them, you're about to learn a little bit about them, and then I'm going to show you their video for Shake It Like a Hillbilly. But in the meantime, I'm going to ask the guys a few questions, and so that way you can dig into their life a little bit more. And here we go.
Nobody ever called us normal. As a matter of fact, some people think we're just a bit off.
You Reggie!
But we're all business. Well, most of the time anyway. And that's our sweet ride. We call her the Hillbilly Hoopty. She takes us all over the country, singing our songs to people like you, kind of like the Partridge Family, minus the weird paint job and the dog and the mom and Lori. We don't have anybody as good looking as Lori, but anyway, you get the idea. We're Hillbilly Vegas.
You Reggie!
Catching up with my boys, Hillbilly Vegas. They're going to answer some questions for me. So my first question for you guys is, where the hell did you get your name from?
Where did we get our name? We got our name from where we're from. We are from Oklahoma. The home of Garth and Toby and Reba and a whole bunch of Native Americans, including a couple of us. We're card-carrying Cherokees. We have casinos here, but even better than that, we have convenience stores. You can pull up, you can fill up your tank of gas, go inside, get some fried food. Johnny likes taquitos. You like taquitos, Johnny, right? You can get a dream catcher, discount tobacco, a 6-pack of beer, pull the slot on your way out, see if Lady Luck is favoring you that day. If that ain't Hillbilly Vegas, I don't know what is.
Awesome. So my second question is, where are your favorite places to eat on the road, and what's your jam? What's your thing?
One of my favorite places to eat on the road is in Seaside, Florida, a little place called the Great Southern. They got a dish there called grits of yaya that will make you slap your mama. It's so good.
Well, you slap his mama. I don't want to slap my own mama. We love to eat. That's our favorite thing to do when we're traveling. We always try to find some place that we've never been, or someplace family style. We order it all and just share and have a great time, and then we write reviews about it so people know what we like and what we don't like.
Appetizers for everybody.
The house.
All right, I know you guys are in a band, so there has to be some pranks you guys do on the road. So what do you guys do to like pick on each other?
We don't really have any pranks that we play on each other. We're too old and been around each other too long, and we're too afraid of the other one's revenge if we were to prank each other. You just never know who's awake and who's not. We have what we call Troy stories. The favorite one that comes to mind right now is one morning after a long night of playing and playing, I opened up my hotel door and there was Troy standing in the hallway. He was shirtless, his hair wild, he was barefoot, and he had a pair of swim trunks on. They were about 3 sizes too big for him, green flowery things. And he looks at me with these wild eyes and he says, "Hey, was I wet when you put me to bed last night?" I said, "No, you were not." He said, "Well, I don't know what happened. My shoes, my clothes, everything is full of water. My wallet's gone, my phone's gone. All I have is these shorts." And I said, "Well, Troy, I don't know what happened to you, but we got to go eat lunch." So he was ready to go barefoot and shirtless. We couldn't do that. We found a shirt for him, and he borrowed a pair of Robbo's shoes. Rob wears about 2 sizes bigger than Troy, so they were curled up on the end, and he looked like Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons. That's a normal morning with Troy. That's our Troy story. The wolf.
Ow.
Ow.
So guys, I want you to tell me all about the songwriting process. What does that look like with you guys?
The songwriting process for us is never the same. It's always an adventure. If it's Stacy, let him tell you what he does. What do you do when you write music?
Come up with a lick at home, bring it in, plug into the Marshall, play it loud. If it sounds good, thank you guys.
Yes, he loves his loud. John, you don't love loud as much.
No, usually I'll be tinkering around with the chord progression, and when I kind of stumble onto something good, Steve usually looks over at me and he's like, "What's that?" And then I start playing it. He usually comes up with the melody really quick, and it shows me where I need to go from there.
Robbo, what's your process?
I'd like to listen to what everybody's doing and put that in perspective and sew them all together.
And Troy, what do you
I
do?
just come up with crazy beats and hope we all follow.
Really, the truth is about our songwriting is it's never the same. Somebody comes up with a riff, or somebody comes up with a piece of music, or sometimes even Troy plays a beat. And if it paints a picture and if it creates a story, then we work on it. But the most important thing about our songwriting, honestly, is it comes from a real place.
So Hillbilly Vegas, I know you guys are already living the dream, doing your thing. You've got some videos coming out. I know you've been working with Gene Greenwood from Farting Puppies Productions, doing some stuff, touring all over and doing amazing things. You guys are fucking awesome. So tell me, what is on your bucket list?
Bucket list is a good question. I'm not ready to answer it though, so I'm gonna give somebody else. Who's ready? John?
I'm ready.
All right.
Yeah, when we first started this band, Steve and I were talking about what success might look like and how we will have known when we've made it. And I said, the day that I get to stand next to Toby Keith on the sidelines at an OU football game, that's when I know I've made it. So that's on my bucket list.
Right?
Probably to sit down with one John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin fame and just have a conversation.
That's pretty good. Troy, you ready?
Yeah, my top one I probably shouldn't say, but I would love to do a great gig at Red Rocks in Colorado.
Cool. Stace?
My bucket list changes from day to day. Right now, I'm just going to jump on Johnny's, and I get to stand next to him, stand next to Toby Keith.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I think that's a good one. We'd like to stand next to Toby Keith somewhere. How about that?
Hey guys, you're watching DJ TV coming at you live from the Dagobah system. This is what it looks like when the sun's out and Yoda's hiding in his shack. I want to thank Hillbilly Vegas for checking in with us. We're getting ready to show their video for Shake It Like a Hillbilly. Got a lot of awesome rock and roll coming up. Everything from the episode 6 of Caught Guns is coming up, and we've got a lot of cool music videos. Again, thank you so much to Hillbilly Vegas. You guys rock, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are doing in the future. In the meantime, here's Shake It Like a Hillbilly.
This is Terry from DJ TV, and you're watching Hillbilly Vegas. Yeah!
Drinking shine to the neon bar near the county line. From the grits and gravy with a poor sweet tea to the Broadway nights in NYC. They're doing it. Yeah. They're doing it. Get on the floor. Shake it like a hillbilly girl. Come on. Like a hillbilly girl, come on. Way down south, down in more back roads, where the band still plays that stomping road, where the good girls come and they learn to swing, where they raise their hand and they ride that thing. They're doing it. Yeah. They're doing it. Get on the floor. Like a hillbilly girl, come on. Get on the floor. Yeah. Shake it like a hillbilly girl, come on. Champagne, baby, in a mason jar. Touch of Vegas with the hillbilly twang. Got 2 words for you, they are. Shake it. Get on the floor. Shake it like a hillbilly girl. Come on. Get on the floor. Yeah. Shake it like a hillbilly girl. Come on. Like a hillbilly girl, come on. Shake it like a hillbilly girl, come on.
This is Michael Alexander of Michael Alexander and Big Whiskey, and you are watching DJ TV.
Don't hide your face from the morning sun. I love you just the same, with no makeup on. Maybe simple, but it's true. Can't take my eyes off of you. don't apologize for getting angry. It's alright sometimes if you take it out on me. I'm here no matter what you do, no matter what we go through. I'm gonna love you just the same, just the same. I'm always gonna feel this way. No, it's never gonna change until the last breath I take. I'm gonna love you just the same. There's gonna come a time when you have your doubts, and it might cross your mind that we ain't working out. It kill me to see you go. Oh, 'cause I want you to know I'm gonna love you just the same, just the same. I'm always gonna feel this way. And no, it's never gonna change until the last breath I take. I'm gonna love you just the same, just the same. I'm gonna love you just the same, just the same, just the same. Yeah. Let the hands of time catch right up to us, and you don't have to hide those years of lies, because I'm gonna love you just the same, just the same. I'm always gonna feel this way. No, it's never gonna change until the last breath I take. I'm gonna love you just the same, just the same. I'm gonna love you just the same. I'm gonna love you just the same. Gonna love you just the same.
Thanks, Don. Hey, guys, it's Pastor Trey over here at the Rockin' Little Farmhouse. Kind of hanging out in the rehearsal space this morning before I go to work. Got to kind of clean up and, yeah, anyway. Seems like out here on the farm, work's never done, even when what part of what you're farming is music, right? Anyway, yeah, it's been a tough week, man. The Chris Cornell thing really bothers me. And I hope it's one of those things that if you understand a little bit about now that we kind of everything's coming out, what all's going on, I'm hoping you guys understand that everybody that you run across, everybody you meet, whether they're on stage or just in your life in general, everybody's fighting a private battle that nobody knows about. Not everybody brings it all out. I mean, sometimes it's just like little simple struggles with self. Maybe you're just trying to be a better person, and maybe you're just trying to maybe you are trying to kick something, you know? Maybe you're just trying to work harder on yourself. But whatever the case is, everybody's got a little secret battle that everybody doesn't know about. And I wish that we would all have compassion with one another in dealing with each other. And what happened this week is basically, I mean, a rock superstar, a guy who was, by all accounts, not one of those guys you ever heard any of those terrible stories about getting drunk and trashing hotel rooms, being mean to people. By all accounts, Chris Cornell was absolutely a beautiful soul, which is why I think God gifted him with such an amazing and pure voice. There was nobody who ever sounded like him. And I mean, seriously, if you want to just everything from he just, and of course the song now, I fell on Black Days, man. There's some Soundgarden songs now that really hit home. I mean, if you listen to Black Hole Sun, man, that's going to become an anthem if it wasn't already. But listen to that voice, that purity, and inside of all that beauty was somebody who was really struggling, man. Somebody who was really struggling, and yeah, we'll be talking for months and months about whose fault it really was and what could have been done and all that. but just appreciate the man for his voice. Appreciate the dad, man. He was a dad. He was a father. The husband. Appreciate him as a human being and all that he brought with his art to this world that will long, long outlive so many of the other people that, you know, from that sort of age when we were all jumping into grunge and a lot of those bands. They were a step apart because of him. It was Chris's voice and his depth, his songwriting. I always thought it was amazing that, you know, this dude who was in this big, boisterous, loud grunge. I mean, listen to Outshine. It sounds like Black Sabbath. I mean, he's like, and then I saw him a couple of times, just him and his acoustic guitar, just laying it down. Like, wow, he truly was completely different than everybody else that sort of came out around the same time, and his legacy will live through his music. I thank God right now for the music, and we pray for his family. And maybe we all do learn a little lesson here. Everybody's sort of got their demons that they're dealing with. So, love on the people around you, man. No day is promised, man. The only thing we're promised, basically, in this life is basically life, and God loves you. Hopefully the people around you love you. Turn around and love on them. Yeah, so Chris Cornell, rest in peace, my brother. I think the Angels just gained another amazing voice for their choir. No doubt.
This is Robert Brewer.
And Karen Holloway Brewer.
From Inches from Sin. We just want to say we had the privilege and the pleasure to actually see Chris perform live with 9 Inch Nails in Mansfield, Mass.
2015.
2015. What a show. What a show. We love the music. It's a very sad day, and prayers go out to his family. And God bless, and keep listening to the music. Peace.
Peace.
Chris Cornell. Wow. We grew up playing music in the 90s, and you couldn't help but be touched by that whole scene when you grew up in that era. And he was one of the best. And love his work with Soundgarden, love his work with Audio Slave, and absolutely love his solo stuff. So he was a great, great musician and will be missed.
It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away. I go out all night and sleep all day since you took your love away. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see whoever I choose. I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant. But nothing can take away these blues. There's nothing compared to you. It's been so lonely without you here, like a bird without a song. Nothing can stop these lonely tears from falling. Tell me, where did I go wrong? I can put my arms around any girl I choose, but it just reminds me of you. that you planted, mama, in your backyard, all died when you went away. And I know living with me, baby, is sometimes hard, but I'm willing to give it another try.
Previously on Cocked Guns.
I'm living in this van. I got Horvath Productions. We're so busy doing corporate videos. I've got great clients, JWT Plumbing. I've got a new client,
It's fine. People go through divorces all the time. Everything's going to be okay for them, I think. Probably. I'm not sure.
You want to talk about your feelings or something?
These are from Dick's private stash. They'll take away the pain.
It's definitely the most meaningful song that we've ever played.
It was great, just finally getting out there and making contact.
If people think we're fucking funny, then fine. We need an image change. Awesome. 2, 3 issues.
Okay, I can take that. That's fine. 3, okay.
You can't see my face, and I think that is a major problem with this.
Yeah. You can see your face. You can see like
you see part of it, yeah.
This, like your profile. This is your best side.
Yeah.
Like, why would you use this photo of me?
It's
This
an
is
action
not.
shot. So.
It is an action shot, yeah, but you need to be able to see my face.
No, dude, the songwriter's supposed to be more the mystery man anyway. It creates better dynamic.
Here's my other thing. I am the songwriter, so the final issue is, why the fuck am I not in the center? I am the lead singer and songwriter.
This was the best shot.
Look, right here, Led Zeppelin 3, right? Okay, let's look at the back. Who's in the front with the fucking giant hair?
Some chick, I don't know.
No, that's Robert that's Robert Plant. Lead singer is always the lead. The word the lead is in there. No one gives a shit about bass players generally, or the drummer, except sometimes the drummer, fucks all the girls, so he's interesting a little bit. Not in this case.
I can tell that's you. You showed me that in a robbery. Who is this guy? I'm like, that's fucking Reggie, man.
Only if my arms were locked in this position and I walked around, hello.
No, I don't know what's gotten into Reggie. He's
You're just so arrogant these days.
It's not that your eyes are dead. It's just that they're lifeless.
My eyes aren't dead. I smolder. I swear to Christ, that's rude of you to say. It's fucked to look at this because I am taller, I am bigger, I am the lead singer. Put me up front.
You're not tall.
Put me up. I am taller.
Is there a ruler or something?
Get a tape measure. There's one upstairs.
Like
You'll slap her fucking hand.
Oh! Ow! Oh! Look what's happening. Good drama for TV. Ow! Don't do that, please.
Keith, you think maybe you should have a shower? It's been like 3 days.
No. Barry said Keith can move in, you know, because his van broke down and he can't live in it anymore.
But when Keith started sort of sleeping over here, he was just watching TV and like he leaves a mess everywhere. And he's really down and it's really bringing me down. You left one of your wet towels on my drum. You can't do that because it's gonna wreck it.
You sound like Karen. Karen and I are getting a divorce.
So he's pretty down. And then his van breaks down.
This is really shitty that it broke now. How do you run out of motor oil when you service it every 4 months? It just makes no sense to me. I just don't know if I can understand that. Can't get worse than this, so.
Here it is, Ramble On, a tribute to Led Zeppelin and Hairfest 6!
Tried. Good evening.
Drive our ships to new land, fight the whole, sing and cry. Valhalla, I am coming. Yeah.
Are we sweet? We're pressing on. I wanna go and be the ones that share.
Tales of gold, how we call tides of war. Yo-yo,
Are we sweet? We're pressing on. I wanna go and be the ones that share. Now you better stop. Rebuild all your wet. Please don't touch it when the day is bright. Oh, I'm losing.
nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. Got a monkey on my back. Crazy life. Oh, nobody's fault but mine. Gonna make you groove. All time when you shake that thing, gonna make you burn, gonna make you stay. Hey baby, when you walk that way, watch honey drip, I can't keep away. Gonna be a star. But I've been told that's gonna come our way. Little woman gonna hold my hand, tell me no lies, make me a happy Mr. Steve Adams. Oh my God, Hairfest. So good to be here. So good to be here. How are you? Is everyone well? Is everyone quite well? I just have to say, Unchained was amazing. Give it up for Unchained, please. Give it up. You all are amazing. It's so good to be here. This is from the Physical Graffiti record. And from Fast Time to Raise My High, but not from the soundtrack. Important distinction. Oh, let the sun beat down upon my dreams. I'm a traveler above time and space. Beware I've been. Secret elders of the gentle race. Good but seldom seen. From the days which they sit and wait, all will be revealed. Lost in time with tongues of guilt and rage. Sounds hurts my ear. Not a word I heard could I relate. So real was quite clear. Baby, I've been flying. Mama, there ain't no denying. so much. Clearly we have some Zeppelin fans in the audience tonight. Lorenzo, what are you doing? Oh my God. I think I know what he's looking for. Lorenzo, is this what you were looking for? It's been waiting for you right here all along. Look, we made his day. We made his day. Don't ever let anyone say you have to be young to enjoy a really stupid app on your phone, all right? Okay, now that gag's over. How about some more Led Zeppelin, eh? Are you having a good time tonight, everyone? Are you having a good time tonight, everyone? I promise after we're done, you can go to bed. No, it's bullshit. Are we ready, gentlemen? This song's about the good times that we've had all day. More cowbell! In the days of my youth, I was told what it means to be a man. Now I've reached the age where I'm trying to do all those things the best I can. No matter how I try, I find my way to the same old track. Good times, bad times, you know all about my shit. No one else knows about it now when I don't care. 16, I fell in love with a girl that used to be. Only took her a couple of days till she was rid of me. Swore that she would be all mine and love me till the end. When I whispered in her ear, I lost another friend. Well, good times, bad times, you know all about my shit. My mama never told me about now, and I still don't seem to care. Don't you throw that funk in my face now, man. Good times, bad times, you know I've had my share. When my mama found out now, well, don't seem to care. Now I know what it means to be alone. Now should you wish I wasn't home. I don't care what the neighbors say. Love you better each and every day, yeah. You can get me within my heart. Reach out to me, baby, we ain't never gonna fall. Thank you, everyone. You ready for some rock and roll? That's right. I've been so long. I've been so long. Oh, I've been. Oh, yeah. Yes. So we're going to take it down just a notch. Is everyone having a good evening? Has everyone had a good day? Trying to catch one of these motherfuckers all day, and now I got one. Here you go. It's a song off the Houses of the Holy record. No chord. Close the door, put out the light. No, they won't be home tonight. No, no, no. Snow falls hard and don't you know? The winds are cold. Wearing steel is bright and true. Every news you must get through. Oh, we should have run. Walking side by side with the dead. The devil knocks at every step. The wind drives back the foot that's slow. Winds of doom around. Carrying news that must get through. Build a dream for me and you. Oh yeah, they choose the pathway on the road. You ready? Woo! Oh! In England, they call this football, you know. Well, before I forget to say anything about it, I gotta personally thank Jason Feldman from the stage. What an amazing event you put together, my friend. And thank all of you who, of course, if you did all this shit, none of it would matter. Did we mention we're called Ramalon? This song also is called Ramalon. Feel free to sing along. Leaves are falling all around. Time I was on my way. Thanks to you, I'm much obliged. Such a pleasant stay. Now it's time for me to go. Autumn lights my way. Sorry. Now I smell the rain. With it, babe, it's setting my way. Sometimes I grow so tired, but I know there's only one thing I gotta do. Now, sing my song. Run the world, on my way. to ramble on. Oh, sugar. Mine's a tale that can't be told. My freedom I hold dear. Years ago, and days of old, when magic filled the air. Like I know, 'cause in the darkest depths of water, I met a girl so fair. We're gone. And the year for wrapped up and stepped away with her, yeah. Oh, but ain't nothing I can do now. You know what I do? I'm going round the world, I gotta find my girl. Come my way. Well, I want to say what an honor it is to be able to close this amazing weekend. Some of you guys have been here since Wednesday. Jesus Christ. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Thank you to all the bands that have played Hellfest this weekend. It's been amazing. Everyone sounded amazing this weekend. A little stairway for y'all. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway.